So I just got a package from DHL. Let's find out what it is.
Oh my god, this thing is dirty.
So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about two new lavalier microphones from CKMOVA, the LCM2 and the LCM6. I do want to put my disclaimer out there that CKMOVA was kind enough to send these two microphones for me to test and review. I was not paid by CKMOVA and all my opinions are my own. They did not have a chance to review this video before I released it. With that in mind, I'm really excited to review these microphones and show you how they sound. The most important feature that I think is really awesome for both these microphones is that they support both a regular camera and smartphone. And I think that vlogging, going outside, it's always nice to have really good audio, and sometimes a smartphone doesn't really cut it, especially if you're going to be pretty far away from the camera. Both these lavalier microphones extend up to 6 meters, that's about 20 feet, and that is extremely far. This kind of reminds me of the Deity VLav mic, which is also an omnidirectional lavalier lapel mic. Now in regards to the LCM2, I found that it's very nifty that it does not require any batteries at all. And with the LCM6, you do use a battery, however, it is inbuilt, it's rechargeable through USB-C, and it does offer a lot of functionality that is something that you cannot do without a battery. So I do appreciate the pros and cons of having a battery. So with the LCM6, even though it's powered by a battery, it has a very long battery working life, up to 40 hours. So you don't really have to worry about charging this much. But what's best of all is that it's USB-C charge. This affords you all types of features. For example, you're going to be able to monitor this with your headphones. You're able to adjust the gain on the fly using a stepless gain knob. And most importantly, it has a really good low pass filter. And this is going to be very handy if you're going to be filming outdoors and there's some kind of ambient noise that's kind of very bass heavy, like maybe some wind. It's going to help cut out some of that noise. So your sound is going to sound a lot clearer thanks to the low pass filter. I highly recommend that you use the chapter links for your own side-by-side comparisons so you can listen to the differences at your own pace. With that in mind, let's jump into the test.
So right now we're indoors and I'm speaking directly on the onboard microphone of the Sony A7C. Obviously in all these tests indoors, this isn't a treated room. There's going to be a lot of reverberation because all the sound waves are going to be bouncing across the walls. It isn't going to sound as good if you're working indoors in a treated environment or outdoors where there's no walls for the voice to bounce around. So how does this compare with the CKMOVA mic?
So right now I'm speaking into the lavalier mic, the CKMOVA LCM2. So this is the less expensive one, and I'm speaking directly into the Sony A7C outdoors near some walls. So there might be some reverberation. There's cars going by. Please let me know what you guys think of the sound quality. One thing I do want to note when speaking right now is that I'm actually wired in completely without any wireless dongles or anything like that. So I'm just plugged right into the headphone jack of the Sony A7C. Now this is a really long extension cable, but I just have it a little tied up right now. It can go up to 6 meters, which is pretty far. So that's really cool. So let's go compare this when connected to a wireless lavalier system and see if there's any degradation in the sound quality. And after that, I'm going to be comparing this microphone indoors and also be comparing it against its bigger brother, the LCM6 microphone, which uses a battery. So we switch to indoors. There's obviously going to be a lot more reverberation when speaking into this microphone, the CKMOVA LCM2. And currently I have it set to the single dash. So I'm not completely sure if that means that the low pass filter is on, but I'm going to switch it to the other one. Okay, so I switched it to the other one. Is there any sound differences? So I just switched back to the single dash line. So let's see how that sounds in comparison to what I was just speaking right before. And like I said before, I'm speaking directly connected into the Sony A7C, set to level 20 dB in terms of the audio levels. Okay, so for comparison's sake, I've actually switched to the Rode Wireless Go internal microphone to see how it compares to the CKMOVA LCM2. And of course the M6, we'll be comparing that a little bit later in the video. So let me know what you guys think. Do you prefer the sound from the internal mic of the Rode Wireless Go in comparison to the LCM2 CKMOVA lavalier microphone? We'll be switching this mic, we'll be plugging this microphone, the CKMOVA microphone, into the Rode Wireless Go to see how it sounds through the wireless system and not connected directly into the camera. So let's find out right now. So I just connected the CKMOVA LCM2 microphone into the Rode Wireless Go. We're still at the same settings, but I did have to increase the gain on the actual Rode Wireless Go wireless system to the medium setting. So I had to increase the decibel reading to the medium.
So for comparison, we're going to be outdoors and I'm going to be speaking right onto the onboard microphone of the Sony A7C. So this is what my voice sounds like when just using the simple inbuilt stereo microphones that are built in the Sony A7C. We're going to switch to the CKMOVA LCM6.
So this is what it sounds like straight into the camera through just one I'm not using the extension cord right now. I'm just speaking directly with the included cord. Okay, so right now I'm just gonna switch to the low pass filter. So that gives it an indication, enable it from here to there. So right there, I believe that's the low pass filter enabled. And you can see all the, and we're set to maximum gain here, okay? So how does this sound with the low pass filter enabled? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. We'll be reviewing this all in post-production, and we're gonna be going indoors with the LCM6, the more expensive microphone, and see how it sounds like in there. I'm just gonna switch back to the regular mode, and I've just switched back to the regular mode. How does that sound? And for this, I can get pretty far. Obviously with the extension cord, we can go up to 6 meters, which is really far, so that's fantastic. So we're back indoors, and I'm speaking into the CKMOVA lavalier mic, the LCM6 edition. So this obviously has, like I said before, the larger control panel, which gives you the option to change between low pass filter, smartphone, and your regular camera switch. And of course, there's a USB-C charging, which is very convenient, no micro USB. There's a headphone monitoring jack, and of course, the volume control knob. So you can adjust the gain on the fly without having to go into the camera settings and kind of adjust it there. So let's just lower the gain here. Speaking into the mic 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to increase the gain over here, and I'm just speaking into the mic, and yeah, so that's, yeah, I'm going to be clipping there, so I definitely don't want to be, okay, so right there, I think maybe a little bit higher. Okay, so this is the optimal setting indoors. So like I said before, we're speaking into the CKMOVA LCM6 indoors. So I just enabled the low pass filter on the LCM6. So this gives you a sense of what it sounds like using the low pass filter indoors. Testing mic 1, 2, 3, I'm going to be speaking into the low pass filter. Switch to the dash mode. Okay, so we're just back to the dash mode. Yes, that is the normal mode, I believe. And just so you know, this is connected to the Rode Wireless Go system. So let's see if there's any audio degradation if I'm using a wireless signal versus directly connected into the auxiliary port of my Sony A7C. And I'm going to enable the low pass filter and see that we observe, okay, so not as much as we observed with the LCM2. We don't see such a big drop in the decibel audio levels. So we're back to normal mode there. Yeah, everything sounds pretty good. So on the LCM2, I noticed that when we enable the low pass filter, it really lowers down the volume levels, the output of the actual microphone. For some reason on the LCM6, this isn't the case. So if I'm speaking on the normal mode and then I turn on the low pass filter, it still continues to maintain the same audio levels. So that's a good bonus feature about this.
So this is what the onboard audio mic sounds when I'm using the Samsung S20. Now obviously it'll sound a little bit better as I get closer, but the further away you are from the microphone, it's gonna sound worse and it's gonna add more reverberation in your indoor room. So right now we have the CKMOVA LCM2 connected to my Samsung S20. And unfortunately with most modern cell phones these days, they don't have a headphone jack. So you're gonna need to use a USB-C dongle. And this is just the world we live in, unfortunately. So before you record, you just have to make sure that this is switched to the smartphone mode and it should be ready to go. You'll get a little indicator, at least on Android, saying that you are recording through USB audio. So let's switch to the LCM6 and see how it compares into the LCM2. And for the final sound test, I've switched to the LCM6. Thank you for making it this far. I know this has been a really long video, so I hope you use the chapter links down below in the description to do a side-by-side comparison between each type of microphone in different context. Now, one quick tip, if you're going to be using the LCM6, it does have a stepless gain knob, and you might not be sure how loud should it be. Well, thankfully on Android, at least with the S20, you're able to go into Pro video mode, and from there you can see the audio levels, so you can make sure that you're not clipping. I will admit, some parts of the video when I was recording outside into my regular Sony camera, I was clipping a lot, and that made the audio levels not sound as good. So I do recommend keeping the audio gain to a certain level so that it doesn't clip at all. Now, after reviewing all this footage, I have to say that I'm very impressed with the sound quality, especially with the LCM6. I think it sounds better than the Rode Wireless Go. Overall, I'm just very happy with the sound quality of both the LCM2 and the LCM6. I think based on the target price that CKMOVA has indicated, these lavalier lapel microphones are going to be a great value. If this video helped you make an informed decision on your next lavalier mic purchase, please do give a like, it really helps out the channel. And if you want to learn more about budget-friendly camera gear, definitely subscribe to this channel as I will be covering a lot more of that stuff in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.